Justin Makes Cocktails is back. I'm Justin, and tonight I'm going to be making a Sazerac. So I stumbled upon this one in my favorite recipe book. I've got quite a few cocktail recipe books, but this one always has a really good one. It has a lot of old-timey drinks. So I, of course, got a chance to go buy something else to add to the bar, some absinthe. So, which I decided I'm gonna do a separate video, just me preparing some absinthe. There's different methods to have just that by itself. So I'm gonna do that for a later video. So I probably won't talk too much about absinthe, except for I did read that it became legal in the United States in 2007. So almost 100 years where it was completely illegal here. So that's all I'll say about that for now. So I will need quite a few ingredients for this, or bar ingredients, supplies, I guess I should say, for this drink. So I've got 2 chilled glasses. I've got a spoon to stir, muddler, strainer, and my jigger. So I'm gonna be doing quite a few little things here. So this drink's interesting. So I'm gonna start off with my absinthe, and I'm actually just gonna use a half a shot to rinse the glass. So basically what that's doing, and I've got a chilled glass, which will help, is I'm gonna pour in a half a shot here. And this is, if you've never had absinthe, it's a nice green color. It's very interesting. And basically, you are going to swirl it around in the glass. And you want to coat as much of it as you can. I probably honestly have too big of a glass here. You don't want to waste it because that's expensive. But, and you want to get it as close to the edge as you can. So I've got a little drip container here because I want to get it all the way. And once I get it all the way, I'm going to let it just kind of sit there while I'm building the drink. There we go. All right. And it has this great smell. So I'm not a big fan of, you know, licorice or anything, but it has that smell to it and it's really powerful. So I'm going to leave that sit there for a minute, and I'm going to end up building my drink in another glass. So I'm not going to be shaking it. I'm going to be building it in a glass. It's similar to an old fashioned with some of the ways you're making the drink and actually the taste of it as well. So in the glass, I'm going to muddle together a teaspoon of water, a teaspoon of sugar, and got this Peychaud's bitters, Peychaud. I think I'm saying that right. 2 dashes of that. It's got this reddish color to it. And this is from, I think it was the 1800s, an apothecary developed this. It's got like a Creole flavors in it. So anyways, that's gonna give us the signature flavor in the Sazerac. So I'm going to muddle for a while because you want the sugar to be completely dissolved. Okay, so far? I haven't talked about the drink that much, but I will. It's gonna be funny if I forget to dump that rinse out. I should have just had you pause it.
Can you do that?
I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of Zoom. Because you know you can do that while you use Zoom. I've perfected recording my lessons and now I've gotten so good at it. All right, so you want to get it to where the sugar is almost completely gone. You could substitute in simple syrup for the water and the sugar, but and also it called for a sugar cube, but I think I've ever met somebody who's owned sugar cubes in their house, but I will have to get some to drink absinthe later on its own. All right, so I've got those things muddled together in my mixing glass here, and the next thing I need is rye whiskey. Now, one thing about the Sazerac, a couple things about it. So it originated in the 1800s, and by the way, I'm doing 3 shots of rye whiskey. Originally, it was used, it was made with cognac, and it was a brand called Sazerac, you know, something cognac. And then eventually it switched over to rye whiskey because there was some epidemic with the, you know, vineyards in France, and that's where all the cognac came from or something like that. So they couldn't get it in New Orleans anymore. So they started using rye whiskey instead. So that's been pretty much how you make it anymore. It is the official drink of New Orleans. And it's just kind of cool. I don't know. And you can kind of taste, like, I don't know. I feel like the taste matches up with the city if you've ever been there. It's a great city if you've never been. So I've got everything in my glass now. I'm going to add in some ice. I'm going to do 4 ice cubes in there. And I'm going to stir. You just want to get it nice and chilled before putting it into our glass. And you don't want to stir too hard. I've lost a little of my whiskey already. As you can see, I do like to drink interesting cocktails that take a lot of time. Now, obviously, I don't sit around always drinking fancy cocktails because it is obviously a lot of work to make a single drink, but it is fun for me to make new stuff and try different things. And if I don't love it, then I just won't make it again. But I will be loving the absinthe, though. So I'm going to try it as many things as I can because it's such an interesting flavor. All right, I've definitely lost some whiskey there. Okay, so I had my rinse going on over here. Another word for it is a wash. And I'm actually going to save it. I don't want to dump it out, but I'm going to do another little swish here. You want it to, I just made a mess. You definitely want to coat your glass completely. Okay. And it does like give a little bit of a sheen in there. And if you smell it, I mean, it's that really strong licorice smell. Anise is what's in it. So I am going to strain, I don't want to get the ice in there, into my glass. Like I said, it does. It looks a lot like an old-fashioned. Get as much of that in there as I can. Now, like I said, the absinthe isn't actually in the drink. I'm going to do a lemon twist. To top it, garnish it. But when you put your nose down to it to take a drink or to smell, I mean, you really smell it. And, you know, what I was reading about it is that affects what you're going to taste by what you're actually smelling. So it makes it very interesting. So I'm going to give it a little drink here. It's definitely a sipper, but the sugar obviously offsets the, you know, the whiskey flavor in there. But this is a really good drink. It reminds me a lot, like I said, of an old-fashioned, only with a kick to it. So it's definitely worth the extra time. And I read up on washing. So a lot of cocktails have a wash that goes into the glass beforehand, which just adds to the flavor a little bit. So anyways, if you've ever got the ingredients on hand, you're ever in the mood, you should try a Sazerac. Order it in a bar. It's a very interesting drink. It's probably just as fun to watch the bartender make it as it is to drink it. So happy weekend, and I will be back next week with a new cocktail.